I live in Canada where it snows 13 months of the year and it was getting cold. I'm a wildlife enthusiast, but I was like, I don't really feel like doing this much. This is ridiculous that I own a $10,000 setup, Nikon Z6 III, 600mm at 6.3. So I was like, I'm gonna downgrade. This is ridiculous. Sell it off. Just get a little budget prime 611, that's good enough. I didn't know that that would bring me down a rabbit hole where I was feasting on rabbit blood and ferrets were chasing me, and I was like, no, we gotta get out of here.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we got a lot to get to. I made a little chart. I got pictures, size comparisons. The ultimate cinema wildlife rig is going to be upon us. And I don't think it is this, but we got a lot of rants to get to. I took this out thinking, you know what, I'll put a little mist filter on there. That's gonna make it cinema-like. First, let's just get to that. What on God's green earth? I mean, yes, it's cinema-like. It's beautiful, is it not? HD 240, come on now. But like, there was nothing in focus. I could not see the peaking. What the hell is wrong with my mist filter to do that to me? Nothing was even close. I'll show you a side-by-side comparison after when I took it off. I was like, oh, there it is. This is just the Freewell ND filter, and it has a little mist thing. So usually I'm always filming with that on here, and then I take the ND part off. Let's just see what the hell happens. Oh, it got a lot darker. That little thing is an ND. I thought it was just mist, and then the other parts were ND, but I never saw it looking like, oh my God, that's so soft. It's, what the hell happened outside? I have no idea. So I'll play you some of this footage before I wisened up and took the filter off, but I was like, why can't I see anything? So that sucked. That was half a day gone that I'll never get back, but whatever. We had a lot of magical turtle moments and beautiful footage ahead. So here's the deal. I would not even own a Canon R5 II if it wasn't for this 600mm lens. That's the reason why I did a video not long ago just comparing prime setups, and I was like, you know what? This would be the lightest option of everything. That's hilarious, and it's full frame. It can't look that bad. And usually it's the budget lenses that have the most pop. It's like those are the best lenses. So I thought maybe this ghetto-ass prime had the magic to it. There's zero magic in this lens. I try and I scream, but it doesn't come out. Now, before your ghetto ass who's about to put ketchup on pancakes for dinner tonight suggests that I get the zoom lens for Canon, the 200 to 800 or the 100 to 500, are you even joking with yourself right now? The only reason I'm out of Nikon is for the weight. As we will see, there's some weights, aren't there? I'm not going above the Nikon. Are you insane? I had the Nikon with the prime and I was like, it's a bit heavy for my liking. I would like something more basic. So like we're going down. All zooms are heavier. I was already there. So like do the math first before you should get the Sigma's 300 to 600 24. I'll leave it on your leg in the woods and then a bear will eat you. All right, before we get into these interesting setups that might be the most cinematic thing you ever see in your life, this was the turtle moment where I was like, why can't I see anything? Let me just take this filter off and see it. Boom. My God, the clarity on that. I was just like, why? I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just like fogged up or something. I don't know. That was a nightmare. I was gonna buy a glimmer glass for this lens to go get some cinema, but I got nothing. So as you see little camera conspiracies trying to look at different setups, there's 3 lenses available to him. He's trying to choose. The middle one is a Canon lens, and the one on the right's Nikon, and the left is a Panasonic setup. And so he's curious. He's like, you know what? I think I'm happy with Canon. I'm just gonna climb up this Canon wall. Fast forwarding a bit here, because turtles are slow and they're even slower in HD 240. Didn't realize this was the definite wrong setup, but whatever. I'm trying to try out this Canon lens and it hurts. I'm banging my head against a shell and it's painful. So whatever, how bad could it be? This is how bad it could be. Me dying in the river trying to get cinematic footage, and yes, I missed the record. He was too slow, so I stopped the recording, and then he started to fall, and I was like, oh my God. So we got some of that, but so here's what I am debating right now. Here we have 5 options the most possible cinematic lightest weight setups spanning the horizons of micro four thirds to full frame. APS-C right in there. We got the weights of everything. Here's the deal. Right now, we have the Canon. It's the lightest of all, and it's glorious. Using it is a breeze, but there's something about the footage that just pisses me off. Every time I get home, I'm like, that's a bit clinical. That ain't right. I got into this for the magic. I started out, like one of my first trips out was borrowing my friend's Fuji X-T4 with his 70 to 300. And I was like getting slow-mo, and I was like, what's happening here? This is so beautiful, the magic. And some setups have it, others don't. So this doesn't appear to have it, and I might uproot my whole life to get it. So the lightest, funnest setup is my current one. Don't have to do anything, just go use it. Who cares about the clinical footage? Get your glimmer glass, see what that's like. That's glorious. The next lightest would be the Fuji. Here's my fear. That Fuji, okay, these weights are without the lens hood sometimes, so don't take these into real comparisons. They're nightmares and lies on the internet. But say this is true, 1826, that's pretty light, much lighter than my Z6 III was, but you get more reach. Fuji magic, but the fear. It might be a clinical lens, and I feel like it is. It has like 15 super ED glass elements in there. That lens is designed for medium format. It's not an XF lens. They designed the medium format to resolve 100 megapixels, so it's the sharpest thing ever made. And that usually cuts into the magic 91%. Too much, it's gone. So I might uproot my entire life getting a Fuji XS20 and this lens for like almost $5,000. And then I get it and it's like, oh, it's not magical at all. Uh-oh. And it doesn't autofocus. And it is kind of heavy, and the stave is bad. Oh. Do you want that nightmare to be my life? So like that might be a huge mistake. My other option, I've just been revisiting this life. Imagine Panasonic GH7 with the Leica 200mm prime. Is it much reach? No. It's not enough at all, but I could deal with it. Don't even mention the teleconverter because linear manual focus turns off. Whoops. We didn't think to program that. That setup is literally unusable. When you try to manually focus, not possible. And I do that quite often. There's always twigs getting in the way. It's like, I enjoy it, like taking over manual focus, peeking. It's like, you feel like you're there, you're controlling your scene. So 200mm, that's so painful. It's a 400mm equiv. I like 600. I can get away with that. I don't really need 800, but it's fun. But 600's a sweet spot for me. 400's nothing sweet about it. But that might be the only setup with actual 3D pop. None of these others are claiming to do anything like that. I don't think any of them do. Maybe the Nikon, I even doubt that. And ironically, that Panasonic setup is heavier than the Fuji. So you got like 400 mils of reach versus with all the crops and slow-mo, you're pushing like 750 to 1,000. It was something like 1,000 mils in HD 240. I was like, holy cow, that could be crazy. And when it comes to the Nikon setups, the Z6 III with the 600mm, that's what I already had. That's the heaviest of all of these. Not really on the table right now. I'm waiting. If Nikon releases the FX3 killer, it actually has a viewfinder. They didn't F up and whoops, it's a vlogger camera. If that thing is real, with red technology and it's better than the Z6 III in a lot of ways, then I could see that setup entering my life again. The only reason the Z8's over there, just because I thought it would be funny with the 400mm, making it actually quite light, and that's similar to the Panasonic. It's actually a little faster tones. And then Nikon has all these crop modes where it's like 4K 120 with a 2.3 times crop, pixel to pixel type of thing. So like you could end up having like a super reach in some, but you get no slow-mo. Panasonic has 300 frames per second. Fuji has 240 with autofocus. Panty boy, you hear that? No. And then Nikon loses it unless you get the Z6 III. So now I am faced with this conundrum in front of me. Different paths. I'm at the foot of the fork and I could go any which way I could stay on the Canon path and just use this and learn to love it. Maybe get a little glimmer glass on there. They're only $200 for some reason, but whatever. That'd be the cheapest path. See, maybe nothing will be in focus. Or Panasonic, revisit that Micro Four Thirds, but it destroys everything in your world. And it's the most cinematic with 3D pop. You don't get much reach, but 300 frames per second, 4K 120 oversample. What's happening here? That could be an airy color science. Or revisit the Fuji XS20, tiniest camera of them all. Fun little custom mode dial there. Same with Panasonic. And then this lens, like in the end, I think I will realize that the Nikon was the best setup and I should have just stuck with it, and selling that hurt my ribs, but I have to see what the other things are. So I think it would make most sense to go with Fuji, test that out, realize how much that sucks, sell that off. Then maybe Panasonic, sell that, and then go Nikon again. Once the Cinema Cam gets released, Red Raw. It writes itself, this whole story, it's all coming together. I see a deal right now for the Fuji XS20 with the 35mm 1.4, 2 batteries and the dual charger is like $2,000 Canadian or something. It's a bit overpriced, but it's close. I could probably make my money back if I sell that. The only problem is I do not ever see a deal for that 500mm prime. It's the same price it was since day one and it's not getting any better. There's no used ones and I can't bring myself to buy it new. It's not happening. So like, I need to be able to sell it for a similar amount I bought it for, and then this makes sense as a business plan. We're making a bunch of videos, we're learning, and then sell it off. I don't lose thousands. I lost $700 on that Nikon setup because they had the bright idea of lowering the price after, and you can't buy Nikon gear new because you lose like a lot of value. Within 6 months, they lower the price and your gear's useless. Sony never does that. It's always the same price. It's actually terrible, but if you bought it, you don't lose the value. And I didn't include this on the list, but it's a somewhat viable option. Panasonic S1R2 or their new Cinema Cam, whatever that's gonna be, with the Leica 100-400 zoom. It's a Tony 5 to 6.3. I hate the idea of having a zoom, but if it's a Leica zoom, maybe I could. We're talking the full frame one, not the Micro Four Thirds. An actual Leica, not a Panasonic Leica, where Leica just held your hand on the way to the patent office, you signed off. But let me know what I should do. Stick with the 600mm Tony 11. Learn to love it. Maybe even get a glimmer glass, try that out. Go the Panasonic route, Micro Four Thirds, or Panasonic full frame, or Fuji, or Nikon again. Which order? It feels weird to only have 2 setups now, and it's the same company. I'm only in Canon, and it feels corrupt. It doesn't feel right. R5 II and the C70, and it's glorious. It's all I would ever need. But this lens, something's wrong with you. So let me know your thoughts. How'd you like today's footage? A little clinical high noon lighting action of dinosaurs in a lake. Not bad, fun times, and thank you so much for chiming in and chiming in your Bitcoin in my direction so I can buy a Fuji lens. I won't buy it unless it's on sale. Subscribe for more.